This is Purge, bring you guys Game 1 of Complexity versus Quantic for the ESWC Online Qualifier Semifinal. It's going to be a best of 3, and I'm here with Dota Commentary's Bballin. Thanks for joining me.
Hey, hello everybody, this is Beyond. And yeah, again, this is the ES North American qualifiers, and if you didn't watch the previous series, then you know which team will be facing the winner of this series. Spoiler, it is Bottom. So they looked very, very strong, but right now this is a completely different matchup. Very, very competitive teams, although, to be frank, Quantic has been in a bit of a slump there, 4-6. Meanwhile, Complexity Gaming are just on a completely other level for other American teams that are aiming to having won the defense too, and they've just been looking so strong. So a bit of clash of momentums, but we'll see if Quantic can turn around and get themselves qualified.
Yeah, it's been pretty fun to watch Complexity lately. They really have been looking like how they first looked when they came out on the scene as Fire and when they first got sponsored. So I'm very, very happy for them, especially as a North American team of unknowns who went from nothing to one of the best teams in the world. So definitely demonstrating the last month that they deserve that international invite. That's for absolute sure, or for absolute certainty at least. So pretty cool to see that happen. Chenban is first out of Quantic here. We're going to see a Leshrac out of Complexity. Most likely we'll see perhaps Darkseer bans, but actually go for a Rubik already.
Yeah, Rubik, one of the most versatile heroes in the game. I think on Ghost of Gears on Net, Puppy had a little bit of an interview, or maybe it was on Join Dota, saying that Rubik is just so hard to deal with just because he's so versatile. He can be played in so many capacities. He can be played as support, he can be played as solo mid, he has null field to protect against magical damage. He has spell steal just to steal any spell he wants, so he's just so hard to deal with. So rather than dealing with him, Complexity just decides to ban him. A solid ban, in my opinion. And of course, there's still a lot of powerful heroes like Nature's Prophet, still in the hero pool. Darkseer, like you previously mentioned, Enchantress as well. But looks like North Americans do not like playing Enchantress as much as Europeans.
Yeah, at least not in the last game that we watched for CMO. I believe that was yeah, they banned out. Did they even ban Chen? I don't even know if they banned Chen.
Yeah, they banned out Chen.
Oh, must have been first round, but they didn't bother with the Enchantress. Okay, so just some slightly different preferences here. There is the Naga ban that everybody is seeming to enjoy banning lately. Net, farming capability, yeah, everything about her. Riptide is so much better now that it doesn't have a casting animation, and the fact that, of course, comes off of your illusions. It got so much better between that little buff there. Even though it doesn't do that much damage, I think it's only 220 at max level, it's just so nice. If you can spread out the illusions in a team fight, does minus armor on everybody, just really great hero. I love her.
Yeah, and I don't expect to see too much Naga at the international too. She's just so annoying to play against, so annoying to deal with. She's difficult to gank. She has good team fight presence. She's a solid laner with the net. She has high base armor, pretty naturally tanky. So no wonder why we see her permanent banned. You know, Lycan is the response behind Complexity, and this leaves a lot of opens for Complexity for the first pickup. Will Quantic ban out the Nature's Prophet? Will they decide to ban out one of Complexity's heroes? That remains to be seen. But right now, Quantic gonna think a bit on how they want to approach this final ban.
Yeah, and both teams I'm sure would love to have Darkseer. 1437 always plays Darkseer for Mouse, that is, and Complexity was one of the first teams to actually make Darkseer popular. They were the first team to be like, yeah, look at this, look how OP Wall of Replica was. That was when it used to make illusions of your allies as well. You could just put down the wall on the enemy team, walk through, and bam, you double your illusions. It was so much that the hero actually got nerfed in the last couple months, so and started getting banned very regularly. So you can thank Complexity for that one.
Back when Complexity was known as Fire, they beat Navi with the Wall Replica with the Aghanim Scepter, like you previously mentioned. So, Complexity known for their Darkseer play, and Quantic really thinking long and hard about this last ban. They know that Complexity has just had so much momentum. They don't want to give them any heroes they're comfortable with, so they decide to ban the Darkseer. A smart choice. But of course, that leaves Invoker, that leaves Nature's Prophet. Very, very strong heroes in their own right. Also, Broodmother's still in the pool, so we'll see what lineup Complexity decides to go for. Will they decide to disguise their pick a bit more? Maybe go for Nature's Prophet, who can fit in all sorts of lineups. Will they go for Invoker, who's a bit more teamfight oriented? It remains to be seen.
Yeah, or even just covering a jungling hero like an Enigma or the Nature's Prophet would be great, just because it's always an extra lane. It's very hard to fill that jungling role, usually, more so than other heroes, because they're very heavily banned. Nature's Prophet, Enigma, Chen, Enchantress, there aren't that many heroes that can just completely be okay hanging out in the jungle. So if you can pick one up relatively fast and make sure that you don't get countered in that sense, it can be a really nice, quick pickup. But they're actually burning through time here. 115 already, and yeah, definitely a lot of good options left. And it's going to be Invoker, so possibly Invoker solo mid, most likely JO playing that. I don't know if TC plays their Invoker or not, but I have seen...
I think it depends on the other heroes in the game. Either TC or JO does play the Invoker, so it remains to be seen. If one of the others has a hero that they like playing more, then they'll switch off and on, I think. But meanwhile, Quantic, they also have to keep in mind this isn't a lineup they're used to. Of course, these stands very, very strong players, but they might not pick a just standard lineup. You know, coL has very, very strong heroes like Morphling, who's a very powerful carry. But 1437 known for his Shadow Demon as well as his other support heroes. But still, they have to keep in mind they have to work with heroes that might not be best for their team chemistry. They decide to go for pretty safe picks. Nitrous Prophet, very, very versatile hero. Tidehunter, ridiculous team fight presence, and a solid laner as well.
Yeah, he's a great hero to have. Not the best ganker because he doesn't have a disable or he doesn't have a stun until level 6. But once he does pick up 6, he can be quite strong. Not always the best support hero on a safe lane either, because usually that long lane is a ranged hero, such as a Windrunner. And since Tide is melee, he has a little bit of issues dealing with, or at least just dominating that long lane solo. So that's kind of Tidehunter's limitations recently. A lot of people really just favor Crystal Maiden instead because her power at just shutting down long lane solos is amazing in comparison, as well as her roaming. It's very, very strong. So, but Tidehunter, of course, much stronger after 6 than a Crystal Maiden. So
Oh yeah,
it's the trade-off.
Venomancer's response pick. Maybe they're anticipating, alright, we're not going to go as much push-oriented, we want a little bit of turtle presence, or maybe they want to go for a bit more teamfight. Enigma is still an option. Keep in mind, there's still Broodmothers, there's still Lone Druid, there's still a lot of very, very powerful heroes in the pool at this point. Venomancer really solidifies their teamfight as well, in conjunction with that Invoker, does so much damage, especially before Piper Mechanism is picked up. Of course, Venomancer is solid at stacking, but still, Tinker's in the pool as well, so we might see a Tinker pick up, Invoker in the safe lane. Complexity pretty adept at using Tinker themselves. I think if they don't go for Morphling just to deny from coL, they might pick up Tinker. No, they go for Lone Druid, rather.
So they could definitely go for some kind of a pushing lineup at the moment. They don't have a ton of combos with Sunstrike, since they don't have any stuns yet, but you can Gale Sunstrike without too much difficulty. It just takes a little bit of finesse. Sometimes you'll miss it, is what I'm trying to say. So Radiant Team has one more pick left over. They're missing a solo mid, most likely. They have a jungler, and they have a support. So they need long lane, they need a carry, and they need a solo mid, unless they put a Nature's Prophet in a solo lane, but at the moment I'm expecting it to be a jungle hero. So, is it going to be Morphling?
They're going to put Nature's Prophet in the solo lane. I think North American teams are much more like Nature's Prophet in that ganking position just to get teleport up and just to gank all over the map. But looks like Quantic going to think long and hard. Definitely, these teams have played against each other in the past, and there's a lot of mind games going on. The team mind complexity, they are in TIT mode. They just won the defense, so they probably don't want to give away too many of their strategies. And looks like a very, very stable pickup. Quantic picking up Morphling to give to coL. Such a strong hero.
Yeah.
And for such a strong player.
Yeah, that's his signature hero right now. Everybody knows that he's very, very good at Morphling. Plays such great games usually when we see him play the hero. A lot of shotgun builds I've seen, but they might be a little bit more consistent as well. Against a Venomancer, Invoker, Lone Druid, they could go a couple different ways, but there aren't that many disables at the moment, so I don't know if a Lincoln Sphere would really be that worth it. But at the very least, Morphling with Korok on your team makes for a very, very scary a team setup. And even games where we see Korok stand in, I've seen team after team just pick Morphling anyways. Even if they don't play Morphling that often normally, it's like, oh, well, we've got Korok on our team. We gotta pick Morphling first round. Come on, you know we have to. And other than that, we don't see that many Morphlings drafted first round, in my experience at least.
Looks like Complexity, they don't want to give Quantic an overwhelming teamfight advantage. They decide to ban the Enigma rather than picking it up themselves. So it's going to be really difficult. If this lineup doesn't work out for Complexity, if Lone Druid gets pressured on early on, if Invoker gets pressured early on, the split pushing power of Morphling and Nature's Prophet will just be really, really difficult to deal with. So I expect it's really going to come down to the early to mid-game portion of this game. If Lone Druid does not get pressured, if Invoker doesn't get pressured as much, then Complexity will be in good shape. But if it comes down to the late game, the split pushing Nature's Prophet and Morphling will just be so difficult to overcome.
Yeah, that's really true. One of the nastiest things about Nature's Prophet, if you can make it semi-equal game towards the late game, then Nature's Prophet is just a pain in the butt to outgank or to just shut down from that counter push. Unless you have like a Tinker or a Storm Spirit or something like that. Somebody that can be in a lot of different places at once, or at least have huge mobility. Makes it a lot easier. So Beastmaster now banned by the Radiant team. That would have been a long lane solo for Complexity. That's actually another hero I've seen them play before, and I was actually... Did you see her like grunting for each of those two bans?
Yeah, man,
Okay.
they really added their gameplay.
That wasn't like Windrunner, that was like, ugh! I heard that twice.
Just cutting each other off left and right.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I actually saw Complexity do a roaming beast. Well, it was like a pulling Beastmaster, pulling ganking Beastmaster that I saw Complexity do that for, I think, the defense finals. It was awesome. He did pulling until he was level 3, and then he went for a gank. He had 1 Axes and 2 in Call of the Wild, which gave him a pig. The pig gives you, I believe, like 20% slow, 20 to 35, 30% slow, something like that. And then the Axes are actually pretty powerful powerful for a level 1 nuke, assuming your target has semi-low armor. And it was actually a pretty cool ganking combo. Just a little bit of slow from the pig and the axes once, and it turned out he got a couple ganks with it and he moved into the mid game. It was really fun to watch. Something I haven't seen another team do before.
Yeah, Complexity, Beastmaster is actually one of their most picked heroes. I think they picked him up in 31 games, according to the stats at Dota-Academy.com. Shoutouts to all the people there for having excellent stats. But Beastmaster definitely a favorite Complexity, and we see a Brewrun pickup finally. So it looks like in response to the heavy split push, they're going to get some pushing going on. They have Brumar, they have Veno, but keep in mind they don't have any reliable stunts to work with, so it's going to be difficult holding Morphling in place, so I expect Brumar to rush a very fast Orchid just to shut down Morphling or Nature's Prophet if they teleport into their lane and start pushing.
Yeah, it sounds like a great idea. Definitely great item choices. Or just silence the Tide Hunter in the middle of the team fight. Silence is one of the best things against him because he walks in, it's very obvious when a Tide's about to Ravage. If you can just silence him, he has to stand there for 6 seconds. He might miss some crucial parts of the team fight. And that can make a big difference in their team fight. So, one more pick, before the last picking goes on here. Radiant team looking for a long lane, unless they use Nature's Prophet there, or a possible solo mid, if they do a long lane Nature's Prophet, which we may see, just like last game.
I think they might do that just because they ban out Beastmaster and Windrunner, two very common heroes, and of course the Darkster, very common hero in that long lane position, so I think we might actually see Nature's Prophet. Or Enigma also capable long lane. Honestly, go for something crazy like a Lich, but then you can just push against the Lich. Yeah. It's just not too difficult to deal with. So I expect Nature's Prophet just to be in the lane, just judging by the bans by the Quantic side. So May will pick up Shadow Demon for 1437 just because he's one of the best Shadow Demons in the business, but we do see a Lich. Most likely a Lich Morphling dual lane mid.
Yeah, that's my guess as well. This means they're probably going to put Tide Hunter against the Broodmother. Tide Hunter is actually a pretty great hero against Brood, which might have been one of the reasons why they picked him up so early. And they'll just get probably one level of Kraken Shell, one level of Gush, pick up a Stout Shield, and then max out Anchor Smash first. And it does up to 225 physical damage every 4 seconds. It's insanely good for killing spiders. And it also reduces attack damage, so it's very good against melee heroes, because if you can land the debuff, then they have trouble last hitting for the next couple seconds as well. So Tide Hunter actually a very standard hero to land against Broodmother, but that means that Tide's going to be getting farm, Morphling's going to get farm, as is Nature's Prophet in the long lane. We're going to have a support Lich, and they either need a jungler or another support hero to round out a tri-lane.
Complexity goes with the Mirana, so they really don't care about stuns whatsoever. No reliable stuns on their side. So unless Invoker goes for Quas Wex just to get that tornado up, they're going to have difficulty holding people in place. Of course, they have slow from Venmance, they have the slow from the Broodmother, and if they get entangles or arrows, it could be nice for them. But they really rely on the fact, okay, once we get our items up, we're just going to go push, try to end the game as soon as possible. Otherwise, Morphling will just be so difficult to kill in late game. You can just run circles around us. Nature's Prophet, so difficult to deal with. And looks like Quantic thinking long and hard. They don't have too much time left, so they have to think what they want to pick up for their last hero. And will they go for another possible solo hero, or will they go for another support? It remains to be seen.
Yeah, we'll see. They've got 13 seconds to make their decision. Tri-lanes with Morphling are pretty good, but Lich not the best tri-lane hero, at least until he hits level 2. Kind of useless before that, other than for denying experience, of course, and giving himself as much mana as he wants, which is cool. And it's going to be a Sand King. So, maybe they'll do, I guess they're going to do Sand King now against the Broodmother and put the Tide Hunter in the tri-lane. That's my guess, at least. It wouldn't be terrible. Dual range plus Tide, so they aren't lacking in ranged heroes. And Sand King arguably better than Tide against Broodmother, so that's my guess, at least. We'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, of course, Sand King, it's really difficult for Broodmother to kill. Maybe they're just going to put Nature's Prophet in the jungle and just have 2 solos, a dual lane mid and Nature's Prophet in the jungle. It's really, really odd to see how the Quantic side will lane this, but meanwhile, we can sort of guess the lanes that Complexity will go for, as the JO is most likely going to get a solo. They're going to have Lone Druid with a little bit of support from the Venancer. Venancer will roam around just helping out JO, or TC when he sees fit, or most likely just helping out Mirana in the tri lane, so Mirana can get as much farm as possible, and Broodmother is going to be soloing up a lane, probably against Sand King like you mentioned, but yep, 1437 is going to be playing that Lich, and he's going to deny creeps like no other.
Wow, Korak's playing Morphling, no way. And it looks like, yeah, Fluff is actually playing the Priest of the Moon. I almost never see him play anything other than a hard support role, so very surprised to see that. So Fluff is on the Mirana. He actually buys Observer Wards at the start. Is he going to be playing a support Mirana or something? This looks really weird starting items. JO's on the Invoker. We have TC playing Lone Druid. IX Mike 88 playing his patented Venomancer. He plays Venomancer all the time. Very good Veno player. And finally, Hannah Montana on the bot lane playing Broodmother.
Yep, 1437 on the dire side. Standing in for Quantic is going to be playing the Lich. Korok is going to be playing the Morphling. Bleak is going to be playing Nature's Prophet. So that lanes. Paint going to be playing one of the last two heroes as they're waiting for Quantic to pick up the last two heroes. Maybe they're having a bit of connection issues. Maybe they're fighting to the death to see who will pick up which hero. Paint is going to be playing the Sand King as the Brax is going to be playing the Time Hunter. So it's going to be really interesting to see. We're going to see a dual lane of Lich Morphling probably. But it's going to be interesting to see as it looks like Nature's Prophet is going to be slowing the long lane. So tri-lane Sand King, Lich, Tidehunter. No, it's dual lane of Tidehunter, Sand King. My bad.
Oh, really? No way. That's a double melee. Maybe they kind of just pick themselves into a corner here. If they do that dual lane, I mean that's a double melee lane. They could be up against something like Lone Druid, but if it's a Lone Druid is actually going to outlane a double melee, I dare say, just based on bear damage over time. Of course, if they use Anchor Smash every time he comes forward, it won't be as big of a deal just to reduce his damage output, but kind of a weird setup. And Complexity currently has 4 roaming top at the moment, and they're going to be looking for kills as Fluff is about to place some wards. So this probably means they're going to be doing a possible tri-lane, do you think? Maybe even, dare I say, a Lone Druid Veno with a Priest of the Moon? I don't know.
Yeah, I think just judging by the positioning, that the fact that Fluff has some wards, it's going to be warding off the camp just so that the waves won't get denied, and so Lone Druid can pick up as much experience. You might not be wrong in that fact at all. But I think once they see the lanes that it's not really a too threatening lane except for mid, I think Complexity will adjust the lanes and just be A-okay, because right now they have pretty solid laning advantage, but once it comes down to the mid to late stages of the game, they're going to be in a lot of trouble, so they're really going to have to make the lane phase count. Otherwise, Morphling will just become too big of an issue.
Our Priest of the Moon is currently floating in the air. Looks like she's jumping. That's pretty cool. But another cool thing to point out about this tri-lane, despite the fact that it's a Murano, which is generally a farm-dependent hero, they have 3 range. They have a Lone Druid, they have a Venomancer, and they have a Priest of the Moon. And if that really is up against a Sand King and a Tidehunter, they're not going to get any farm at all. Because that's going to be 3 heroes auto-attacking them every single time they come up for last hits. And Anchor Smash isn't even going to be usable except for to disable the damage out of the bear. Because nobody's going to be close enough to use Anchor Smash on them. So this could be really, really tough here for Quantic to do well. If they do dual lanes, if they do a tri-lane instead and do like Morphling, Lich, and a Tidehunter, they'll do slightly better. But I would still say it's going to be kind of scary for Quantic here.
Yeah, Quantic is going to have a really, really difficult time in the lane. Of course, Lich could help, and they could help out the Morphling by putting Tidehunter roaming, or maybe a roaming Sand King, but I'm not a huge fan of roaming Sand King whatsoever. But then Morphling will have trouble up against most likely Invoker in that mid lane capacity, as JO is migrating to that mid lane position. So we are going to see Brewmother soloing bottom, Invoker going to be soloing the mid position, and we're going to see a very, very push-oriented tri-lane, and hopefully protects the 100 as much as possible, and Fluff is going to be playing to support Mirana. Pretty interesting role, but hey, if anybody can do it, Fluff can.
IX Mike, I like your stash. I also like IX Mike's stash. Once you grow a mustache, you just have like this immortal bond with anybody who also has a mustache, so I know for a fact I like that guy. The arrow's going to barely miss on Brax here, and 100 mana already gone from Fluff. They ward the small camp to prevent or to reduce the power of any jungling, as well as the... Where's the second one? Actually, behind the tier 1 tower. This means that they want to be aggressive, and they want to make sure they constantly have vision. And it does look like a Sand King with a Tidehunter dual lane, so this is going to be really, really tough for them.
Yeah, to state the obvious, I think they're going to probably switch up. Or maybe Sand King is mostly going to do some pulls, but nice placement of the wards by the Complexity side. And while you're going over that mustache punch, I could just see a picture in my head on San Diego movie screen saying, "I'm Ron Burgundy?" Question mark.
What?
Never watched Anchorman?
I have, but not in years. Man, it's been a
man.
long time. I'm sorry. I'm not as up to date on that stuff. Looks like we might see an arrow coming mid. Dire Team does have a ward up, so they do see these 2 heroes. At the moment, they're giving Lone Druid solo farm, which is a little differently than I expected to see. This Venomancer with the haste screen, he's going to go around Fluff, and they may try to get behind the Morphling or the Lich. Probably going to be aiming for Lich here, by far the easier hero to kill. IX Mike may start things off. Wow, they actually have Brood solo mid, and they shifted JO down the bot lane to the lane against Nature's Prophet. I didn't even realize. I haven't seen a Brood solo mid in a pro game. Dare I say ever? I've done it on pubs and stuff. Gale's going to land on top of Lich, though. They're throwing some hits, and Arrow's going to miss both heroes, though. Now their gank is going to be failed. One last hit, one more tower shot on Venomancer. He's going to have to use about 2 of his tangos there to come back up, but at the very least, it is going to scare them.
Yeah, nice play by Quantic. They had a ward spotting the movement of Fluff and Venomancer. They knew that Venomancer picked up a haste rune, so they just positioned themselves as far back as possible just so the arrow could miss. So nicely done there. And Brewer is going to have a difficult time once Lich picks up his Sentry Ward, and of course Brewer won't get as much experience, but I guess they really want to get as much farm as possible on the Invoker on the bottom lane and really get enough experience, because there's a reason why we don't see Invoker having nearly as much success as we had before. He's just so experience dependent. He's so level dependent. And if he doesn't pick up the lows, he's not really too big of a factor. As it looks like Jo picked up a couple points into Quas. Of course, he could go back to Exort just to get the spawns up, but he might go for Quas Wex, and that would be pretty interesting to see indeed.
Yeah, usually when we do see a Quas Wex build, they grab the double Quas right off the bat. He's trying to get a Cold Snap off on Bleak. He does one hit. There's the Cold Snap now. One TP did come bottom, but he's not even close enough. Bleak's going to try to juke until the Cold Snap runs out. He pops his salve. Now Jo's kind of committing to this. This could be really dangerous for him. He's going to get blocked in by Treants. Now right-clicking against Bleak. Can they regen enough? He eats it. Tango's oh, Bleak going to try to TP out. It's going to be close, and I think he is going to make it. Very good play there by Bleak. And Jo
is trapped!
He's blocked.
Trapped.
He actually can't get out. He has to... Oh, wow. This is actually a big disadvantage for him. And he TP's back in. Here comes Bleak trying to fight Jo again. He didn't even wait till he's fully healed, but he doesn't care because now he's going to right-click on Jo. Arrow's going to come through. It's going to miss, though, as the Cold Snap lands on Bleak. Fluff needs to be right-clicking this Prophet, though. Does finally hit a couple times. And Fluff does kill the tree and lets Jo run away. Pops the salve now. Are these Treants fast enough? They're actually faster than him. He could lose some HP from this. But he's going to back up. Yeah, he does lose about 200 HP from that one Treant hit. Stops the salve about halfway through.
I've never seen such pesky Treants in my life. Just owning that Invoker for such a long duration. Nice play by Fluff, identifying the predicament that Jo was in, eating the tree so Jo could escape. But looks like there's going to be engagement on the top lane. Sand King tires her dual lane. More powerful than Venomancer, but right now Sand King taking a bunch of damage. Here comes the teleport in by Nature's Prophet. It looks like Sand King picks up the first one with the Burrow Strike. Bleak is in a lot of trouble. One more hit will be the end of him, but Anchor Smash is reducing damage. TC's going to have to escape, so surprisingly, Quantic is doing solidly in the laning phase.
That was so close. Bleak almost died there. Perfect Anchor Smash from the Tide. Reduced the damage of the Lone Druid by 40%, which means he's only hitting for somewhere around 30 damage or so instead of that 56. So great play there by Brax to keep him alive. And that was just the first blood, by the way. Only one hero has died so far. Painted Gold with Burrow Strike. I don't even know if the TP from Nature's Prophet was needed there, though. He didn't have Sprout yet, so I thought he TP'd in for nothing, to be honest.
Purge, I don't want to alarm you, but you might not want to look at Korok's farm. It's kind of insane.
We're going to see Painted Gold die top. He did get out of position there.
Or Venomancer picks up a kill on Sand King. Tyrant is going to be in a lot of trouble. One more hit by the bear. Can he get any? No, he's going to be able to escape just fine, as the bear's going to be resummoned. But yeah, the lane's not working up nearly as well as Complexity was probably hoping for, but it looks like they're going to get a bit of pressure applied on the ball lane. But Nature's Prophet's going to be able to defend with the help of his Treants, but still, Kurok is farming unbelievably well, and Bruno can't really do too much because the Sentry Ward nicely placed at 1437 can deny so much experience for Hannah Montana.
Yeah, he's got 9 denies at the moment. Only 12 last hits for Broodmother, so yeah, Morphling's doing pretty well here. And he's had very, very little chance to die to the Broodmother because of Waveform. He doesn't have any hard disables. The Broodmother doesn't, that is, so he can just put most of it on agility is what he's at. 43 agility, 15 strength. And he's hitting for 90 damage already, just under 90 damage, which is insane for a level, or a 4-mid hero. So that's why he's got so many last hits.
Yep, he has Ring of Aquila, so whenever Broodmother leaves lane, which he never will if you are a Broodmother, but they can push with the help of that Ring of Aquila. Spiraling's going to be summoned, but he's going to probably send them back to the jungle because Sentry Ward's just going to be able to kill them left and right. 1437 does have another Sentry Ward, so he's just going to send them in the jungle, try to pick up as much gold as possible because he knows those spiders will just be food. Looks like the top tower are going to get pressured, but I don't know if they have enough DPS to bring it down. Times are going to come in with a gush. Here comes the Nature's Prophet teleport. Anchor Smash being popped. IX Mike in a huge amount of trouble. Can they get the double Burrow Strike? No, they know IX Mike is going to die regardless. So they Burrow Strike TC instead. Here comes the Sprout. Looks like TC is going to be able to escape with the Tangle. A couple more hits. There is another Burrow Strike, but a beautiful arrow by Fluffy comes in to reinforce. Can Anchor Smash be popped once again? Oh no, an Entangle going to be used on Sand King. He's going to be able to escape just fine for now, but he's going to have to Burrow Strike away as soon as possible. Another Burrow Strike catching 2 heroes. Nicely done. Anchor Smash uses wall time. She does take the fall finally, but it looks like Bleak might take more damage than he can deal out. Entangle. TC picks up a double kill as that gank looks solid for Quantic, but just a couple of entangles and then timely teleport in by Fluff. Gonna save Lone Druid and allow him to pick up a double kill.
Fluff does not throw the arrow on Sand King. He actually throws it back towards the tier 1 tower and doesn't find anybody there. So, wow, those entangles at just the right time. Tidehunter got entangled, I believe, on first hit after he came in for the kill, and that saved them under the Sprout very well. And then after that, he also entangled the Sand King. He got like 3 entangles that whole fight, 20% chance of that landing, and Fluff showed up at just the right time. I don't know where he was. He must have been pulling bottom the whole time, something like that, I'm guessing, but he shows up at the right time top and helps out.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate for Quantic. They looked solid in that gank, but like we just said, nice reinforcements by Fluff, and those entangles just saved his life. But just checking out the mid lane farm, Korok 45 CS, so he's going to be able to pick up 100 CS around 14 minutes at this pace. He's just farming ridiculously well. 14:37, just keeping back from the Hannah Montana having a miserable time at this point. And looks like Nature's Pop is just going to be jungling up. So Quantic in decent shape. And keep in mind, no hardcore disables besides Tornado on the side of Complexity. So it's going to be difficult to lock down this Morphling unless Brood Mother can finish a fast Orchid. But right now she's not getting much farm at all.
And Jo is going for Quas Flex build. This means he's going to be probably having EMP Tornado. Nature's Prophet level 5, and Invoker's at level 6. 37-7 for the Invoker. Bleak is at 13-3, having a much harder time. But as a long lane soul, especially in Nature's Prophet, it's really tough to win this lane. He has virtually no chance of working down Invoker's HP because he does have so many Quas levels. There's a couple hits on Painted Gold. Takes a big hit from the double damage, but Fluff's going to be careful now as the DD runs out. They are still defending this tower a little bit. Venomancer wards being placed to try to push, but they do get killed quite fast at this point. He's going to get on top of the Tide. Tide is a Ravage. He's going to pop the Ravage. Does catch 2 heroes, one of which is Venomancer, the other Lone Druid. Nature's Prophet uses the ulti, and they do pick off IX Mike. TP coming for Korok, but the Burrow Strike is going to miss, and that is going to be it for this gank. He's going to waveform forward, actually. Does a little damage to TC, but ends up ganking, and is probably going to head back mid now. So not the best TP from Morphling, but it did guarantee at least that they didn't lose their own heroes.
Yep, and of course it's going to leave Lich to farm up, and when Lich picks up Chain Frost, it's going to be so deadly. Ravage, Epicenter, Chain Frost is just going to do so much, as it looks like Hannah Montana wanted Lich. He tried to do enough damage with the Spiraling's Will. 14:37, take the fall, one more hit as Waveform just to save the life of Lich. Nicely done by Korok, as he's going to be able to survive, as it looks like Brax might be in a little trouble. So now Sand King's had to reinforce. But just checking out the farm on TC, he has 41 CS, Mew on Invoker 47. Invoker's doing solidly. It's going to really come down to this mid-game for Invoker if he can get some counter gigs going, because right now Morphling's just farming way too well for the Complexity side to be successful.
Yeah, definitely a slight mistake from Hannah Montana there, but he thought he was going to be able to pick up the kill. He almost did, and a great spider snipe as well. That one spider, I mean, Lich had 6 HP left over, so he killed that at the right time there and picks it off. Hannah Montana puts a net down on the rune spot, one of his first rune nets, as they are going to be going for a dive. Ravage is long on cooldown. There's the Entangle on top of Brax. He's going to do a great double Burrow Strike, buying him a little time, but Anchor Smash is used, and Tide still does go down. And do they have a Basilius up here? They do not actually, but they have 3 heroes plus the bear, and a little bit of pushing might help them out. Maybe they'll be able to take the tower, but Painted Gold is here to defend.
Yeah, they know Lich has Chain Frost. He is level 6, so he can teleport in, but it looks like the wards are going to be enough in conjunction with the bear to pick off this tower. Just checking out the goal on TC, 700 gold. Can the arrow hit? No, Quantic Paint manages to dodge it nicely, as looks like the tower will take the fall. One last hit by Fluff, picks up the last hit, as time to teleport back in. Can they kill IX Mike? Anchor Smash Gush, going to be enough. One more hit by the Titan will be able to pick up the kill. It looks like Nature's Prophet, Wrath of Nature, going to be enough to kill the Venomancer. Can they get any more kills? No. Nice teleports out, just getting out as fast as possible.
Yeah, very smart TPs there. Once they lost the Venomancer again, and they definitely needed to leave. But Venomancer died quite a few times top. He's definitely the weakest of them. Doesn't have a whole lot of HP. Does have boots picked up, but 4 deaths now on IX Mike here. But understandable. I'm actually very surprised that the Tidehunter Sand King duel lane has been doing this well, honestly. I thought they were going to get absolutely shut down. I mean, Mirana did leave for a long time, so that was part of the reason why it wasn't absolute free farm. But either way, they played very, very well, picking off that many heroes.
It's just so hard to kill these heroes. Sand King, pop Sandstorm, and Burrow Strike just get out of any sticky situations. Tidehunter has the Kraken Shell, so if he does get entangled, if he takes enough damage, he'll just get out, just because Kraken Shell is so insanely good. So that duel lane able to survive without too much physical harassment, since Mirana left the lane, Venomancer left the lane a little bit. And meanwhile, it looks like Invoker picks up a kill on Nature's Prophet on the bottom lane with the helpful gank by X Mike. Can Korok get the waveform in response? No, he's just going to have to back off. He slowed down his farm a little bit, but still well on his way to 150 CS by around the 20-minute mark. Ridiculous farm nonetheless by Korok, even though he's been teleporting in and out. But he's going to get cold snapped a couple more hits. Waveform is on cooldown. Will he start morphing? No, he's just going to have to back off, as Jo and IX Mike not enough damage to kill him.
And Jo already has his drum. Phase Boots finishes pretty standard Quas Wex build. Gives him a lot of HP, a lot of damage as well. 18 damage from the Drum of Endurance, 24 from the Phase Boots, which get with the big attack speed from the Wex, it really gives him a lot of damage per second in simple auto attacks and things like that. Wards are spotted out Croc. We have a TP. That was almost a TP. Nature's Prophet is actually thinking about TPing. As well as Mirana coming to gank with a Sage's Mask and a Magic Wand. So very, very basic ganking items here on Mirana.
Looks like there's going to be a 3-man party to kill TC. TC, does he suspect? Yes, he does have a ward. Nicely placed. TC is just going to try to get the heck out of there as fast as possible. but he is slowed down by the Bear ultimate form. He has phase boost, so he's going to be able to escape. Nice ward placement by Complexity, protecting TC, so he's able to escape. Very, very nice indeed. He has trouble in Golden Bank, still a long way from finishing that relic, but looks like Invoker able to pick up a tower, and that's going to help Bear a lot in terms of farming up that relic.
Yeah. We're seeing Morphling almost die in the bot lane. Morphling is super imbo, man. No, it was an awesome coordination. They threw a tornado, and with the tornado, they were able to land an arrow as well as the gale. And then from there, right-click from 3 heroes, they burned all of their nukes, and he still didn't die. But he does have a lot of farm. He's got an Aquila Wand and a Tread, so understandable that he was able to morph all the way and not get picked off. So, Quark pretty safe there.
Yep. Korok has definitely slowed down his farm, only around 80 CS, as Invoker is just doing so much more damage. Korok is just trying to pick up as many last hits as possible. What item will he go for? He went for the bottle just to give him a lot of regen. Will he go for fast Manta style just for split pushing? Usually in the Chinese scene, when you go for bottle, he'll go for BKB then Scotty, but it looks like Korok wants a bit of Invoker, but Invoker just does too much damage with the Cold Snap and the Drums and Phase Boots, and Korok is have to back off. Meanwhile, TC just checking out his gold. He's still 2k gold away from that relic. So right now, Quantic, they're holding on pretty nicely as Bleak is going to be able to farm up, Korok is farming up, and Hannah Montana does not have nearly... Or he has 2.4k gold, so we'll see where he decides to spend his money. Will he go for fast BKB, or will he go for Orchid?
Yeah, and this is basically the heroes that didn't do so hot in this game so far now against each other, Broodmother as well as the Nature's Prophet. We'll see how well Hannah Montana can do. He's got to be careful, though. There are possible ganks that can come, especially on the mid lane. Definitely the easiest lane to gank, since there's always going to be heroes close to you. Sand King does have Arcane Boots as well, so his ganking is definitely going to continue. Possibly going to pick up 7 in a second, and then hopefully pick off a kill on TC top lane. But TC has a lot of HP right now, up to 1484. He's definitely very self-reliant.
Yeah, nice awareness by Jo. He noticed that Nature's Prophet teleporting in. They wanted to kill Jo, but he managed to ghost walk away. And unfortunately for Quantic, they didn't have detection. And it looks like they're finally able to amass enough Spiralings to push down this middle tower with the help of the Batman Swords. It looks like the glyph is popped. Will they be able to escape? He's going to retreat the Spiralings just because they're going to get nuked down for free gold. And Quantic is going to be able to defend this. So right now, Quantic playing quite solidly. And keep in mind, no stuns on Complexity, or no reliable stuns aside from the Tornado. And it's going to be pretty difficult to lock down the heroes once the mid to late stages of the game start happening, so they're going to need to get as much gold as possible. And they picked up 2 tier 1 towers, but still, they need more and more in order to make this game much more difficult for Quantic.
Looks like Invoker's actually going for a Yule Scepter this game. I'm guessing they're going to continue doing this Tornado Arrow combo as the game goes on. Mirano actually with 2 Gauntlets, so she's going to be going for an Urn of Shadows most likely. And I love how they have the spiders tanking up for Fluff as a hero that doesn't have a lot of farm. This is exactly what he needs. He can do the damage at a reasonable rate. He just needs somebody to tank it for him. And even if Broodmother gets the last hits, it doesn't matter. More than anything, Mirana just wants to be a high level so the arrow does more damage, so that Starstorm does, and also said he has the ulti available to use.
Yep. Meanwhile, Quantic, they know it's going to be difficult to push against Ravage, Epicenter, and Chainfrost, so they're just going to play a bit passively, try to get the levels up, like you said. Venomancer is level 7, so he has level 4 wards, so they might be able to get a bit more of a team fight favorable to them if they can stack up enough wards. Looks like Fluff has picked up level 7 finally. He's going to max out that Starstorm, but still, it's going to be pretty difficult pushing into a tower just because there's so many defensive ultimates coming in on the side of Quantic. And Sand King, he's still quite a far away from his Blink Dagger. Check out Lich's farm. He has nothing, just playing typical support role. As looks like EMP gonna drain a lot of mana. Quantic Paint teleports in, gets immediately stunned, is forced to burrow strike out as fast as possible. Will they be able to catch up to him? Jo is diving. Can he get the kill? No. Tanja's gonna teleport in, and that's gonna be end of that.
That was a lot of TPs from Quantic though. This is a Chain Frost on Jo. He's gonna Force Staff away though. It will not bounce. Takes 210 damage, and unless Tide can get within Gush range, which he's not going to be able to do, we're going to see Geo survive this. As the sentry gets placed as well by the Lich, but they do not find any wards there. So, pretty good play there. Arrow's going to come back mid. They're going to try to stop the tower from getting picked off, but it's going to get denied. Oh, the lone Druid Bear gets it! Wow, that was close. Korok was one hit away from denying that, and that is such a big pickup. That's 700, 800 gold for the Radiant team that they get now because there is no deny. A huge difference there.
Yeah, a little bit of mistiming by Korok, just unable to time that perfectly, and the Bear was able to get the last hit. Keep in mind the tower does have armor, so it's going to be difficult. It looks like Joe's going to migrate. He has the Force Staff. He's going to be able to catch Nature's Prophet. Nice ward placement. Going to be able to pick off Bleak. What a ward catching, and nice awareness by Joe picking up the kill. So it looks like Complexity trying to get a little bit momentum back, and Bear's going to be able to pick up his relic relatively soon. And now Quantic are in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be smoke ganking towards the bot lane, trying to get behind Jo at the moment. He is definitely pretty farmed in this game. If we look at his net worth here, he's actually by far in the lead. 7,200 gold, getting insane farm. Painted Gold's about to go in for the Burrow Strike, just slightly out of vision. There's the first slow Gush as well. Do they have Dust though? There's the Burrow Strike. They have a Sentry. Oh, he 4-steps and dodges the Burrow Strike. Huge play by J.O. And now he's just simply going to run away with his phase boost. Look at his movement speed. This is insane. Is he really going to evade them?
Charge to boot. He's just moving at max move speed, but coL is not going to let J.O. go. EMP's going to be popped. It's going to drain so much mana. Here comes the Gale. It's going to looks like a nice arrow by Fluff, going to lock Morphling in place. Looks like they finally able to pick up J.O. So all that chase was worth it in the end. But still, J.O. nice job in delaying the inevitable. Can Tyler to get in position to cast Ravage? No, but looks like Quantic wants to pick off this middle tier 1 tower. Keep in mind, TC farming all the while up top has picked up the Relic, so he's going to be able to pick up the Radiance in about 1k gold, and then the push just becomes very, very scary for the Quantic side to deal with.
And if we check out the GPM graphs, the top 3 are currently Lone Druid, Invoker, as well as Broodmother. That confused me. I thought the net worth was higher for Lone Druid. Why is it so low? That must be a bug. There's no way. I don't think that one is correct. Let me check out some other stats. It's like his GPM is the highest, but yeah, he is actually in the lead. 7,500 gold on TC, playing that Lone Druid, getting more farm than anybody else. Invoker a close second, and everybody else on Quantic a little bit behind. There's the TP. Silence on coRock, actually. Great Ravage from Brax is going to stop the initiation. Hannah Montana almost gets picked out, but a nice Tornado EMP. Going to break their initiate as well. Entangle on the Tidehunter. Morphling wants a kill. He gets Cold Snap, though, and he does send himself back off using his ulti. Chain Frost balancing all around, doing some pretty good damage, but we do see Bleak fall. And Morphling, he survives. Great plays from coRock there.
Yeah, but they weren't expecting that Orchid. Brumar just bided their time and able to pick up the Orchid, used out Morphling. He couldn't do much until the end of the battle. Meanwhile, J.O. able to pick up a kill on 1437 as they're treating J.O. just too fast, too furious, able to pick up a kill so easily. And that was just a sensational Ravage, catching everybody. But still, everybody was out of position on the side of Quantic. They couldn't follow up. They weren't able to cast the FSR. Chain Frost wasn't able to hit too much of anything. Or it did a significant damage, but just did a little bit too little too late.
Yeah, totally agree. Mid tower gets picked off. TC with the last hit, increasing his farm there. And he's bought something. It's going to be a Relic. So Relic is up, and he's only a short 800 gold away, and he's going to have Radiance. This is a pretty darn fast Radiance. It's going to be a pain in the butt, especially for a hero like Sand King, who's trying to be invisible at times. Going to take damage over time, as well as just great for pushing as well and farming. So looking really good for the Radiant team.
Yeah, and apparently people are saying that net worth does not take into account the items on the bear, so that might explain it.
Okay, that would explain things. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the bear, you can't check the items on the bear with the men item screen. As looks like TC able to pick up a kill, but they want to get initiation on Hannah Montana. Moonlight Shadow is casted, but Dust Appearance is casted as well. Variance comes in with a huge ultimate. It looks like Brax is going to have to get the heck out of there. Epicenter being challenged. Will he be able to pick up the kill? No, Mike able to pick up the kill, and looks like the mid-game power of Complexity just too much for the Quantic side to deal with at this point. It's really going to come down to coRock and the split pushing of the Quantic side to get them back in the game, but unfortunately, Nature's Prophet has died a lot. Went for a very late Midas. I thought he would have went for Treads, but he went for extremely late Midas. And meanwhile, Morphling, just the Ghost Scepter, still quite far away from finishing that E-Blade, so that split push is not going to get up and rolling for quite a bit.
Oh, J.O.'s playing so well here. Just being really aggressive, trying to pick off some heroes. Does a Cold Snap on Lich. Gets forced back by a Gush. Gives you the power of haste right there. Just showing itself. And he actually just might go straight for a Sheep. He just picked up a single Sage's Mask to give him some really sick mana regen. I mean, if you think about the cost, it's 325 gold for a Sage's Mask. Increases your mana regen by 50%. If you're an Int hero, this is totally worth it. I mean, he's got 5 mana per second. It's very, very difficult to get that high normally. You have to finish some item like a Yule Scepter or something like that, but he just went for the Sage's Mask. He could just sell this later. He doesn't actually have to build it in anything. So it's a cool little pickup.
Yeah, it's not like he needs more move speed, and he doesn't really want the Yules. He could rather get a better disable like the Hex. So just that Sage's Mask giving a bit of regen, only 325 gold, like you mentioned, but 1437 getting initiated on. Here comes a Gush just to scare away Jail. Right now, Quantic just locked up on the side of their base. Morphling is going to waveform in. He does have the Replicate to get him out of trouble if he needs to. And looks like Morphling going to pick up some last hits and just going to be able to replicate out into the Fountain. And he's still about 900 gold from finishing that E-Blade, but still just checking out the tank items on the side of Complexity. Do they have the requisite tank items? No mechanism up yet, no pipe either. So Morphling will be dangerous with that shotgun E-Blade. Venomancer will fall very, very fast, as well as Fluff.
And we see TC pick up the Vlad's Aura on his primary hero. He's got the Radiance on top of that, so they are totally ready to push. And curiously, actually not even going for a Tranquil Boost this game, because he was doing well enough. He just opted for Phase to give himself more movement speed on his primary hero. Now, the Bear does have boots, but those aren't